Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q2 FY22 earnings conference call of ADF Foods. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Rishabh Das from Pareto Capital. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rishabh Das from Pareto Capital. We represent investor relations for ADF Foods. On behalf of ADF Foods, I welcome you all to our Q2 and H1 FY22 earnings conference call. I have with me from the management, Mr. Bimal Thakkar, Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Shardul Doshi, CFO, and Mr. Devang Gandhi, COO. We will have brief opening remarks from the management, followed by the Q&A session. Please note that certain statements made during this call may be forward-looking in nature. Such forward-looking statements are subject to certain risks and uncertainties that could cause our actual results or projections to differ materially from these statements. ADF Foods Limited will not be in any way responsible for any action taken based on such statements and undertakes no obligation to publicly update these forward-looking statements to reflect subsequent events or circumstances. I will now hand over the call to Mr. Thakkar for his opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rishabh. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you and your families a very happy Diwali and a prosperous New Year. I welcome you all to our Q2 financial year 22 earnings conference call. We are very pleased with the performance of our team has delivered during this quarter with a standalone year-on-year revenue growth of 22% and a consolidated year-on-year growth of 16%. This was led by strong demand and volume offtake from our processed foods business. During the quarter, we faced major headwinds in terms of increasing freight costs and low shipment availability. However, I'm glad we still did well in terms of profitability with EBITDA margins of 17.7%. We also launched several new products ranging from frozen food snacks to chutneys and sauces under the Ashoka and Truly Indian brands. We have also undertaken promotional initiatives in stores and on media to leverage the upcoming festival season. On our agency distribution business, we have seen steady offtake, witnessing a year-on-year growth of 14%. We will continue to focus on this business as it helps strengthen our network and provide additional lever for growth. Our constant endeavor has been to build a robust distribution network and control a higher portion of the value chain towards this goal, I'm proud to announce that we have set up a second warehouse center on lease in Georgia, USA. This, along with our first unit, gives us a total of 1 lakh square feet of warehouse space. These centers will help us improve product supply in the key U.S. markets. Additionally, we have also established a step-down subsidiary with an existing distributor in New Jersey. The subsidiary will be our distribution entity. This will help us gain control of supply chain, enable direct reach to retailers, thereby pushing our products and retaining distributor margins. Further, we will be distributing some other agency products which would be synergistic and non-competing to our products. This will help us offer a larger portfolio of brands to the retailers and help our brands as well in turn. In terms of capacities, we are undergoing debottlenecking and modernization efforts in our existing manufacturing units. We are also looking at impactful brownfield expansions at our current facilities to fully leverage our existing space with efforts to unlock some additional capacities of around 20%. We will be doing brownfield at both our Nadiad and Nashik facilities. Being brownfield, these expansions will have a lower cost and a lower gestation, thereby helping us fast-track our growth plans. We have a strong balance sheet, and we will continue to leverage this potential to invest in our products, our global distribution network, and our manufacturing capacities while optimizing profitability and margins. This is all from my side at the moment, and I'll hand over to Shardul for the financial update. Thank you.
Thanks, Vimal. Let me brief you on financial highlights for the quarter. In Q2 FY22, our total revenue stood at 110 crores, a growth of 14% compared to the same quarter last year. Our standalone business, which comprises mainly exports, registered a revenue of rupees 75 crores, up 20% YOY. Processed food segment revenue stood at rupees 87 crores, and agency distribution business revenue stood at rupees 23 crores. We have witnessed a good growth this quarter and are confident of demand and volume expansion in coming times. As Vimal mentioned, during the quarter we faced rising freight costs which impacted our margins. However, with measures like cost optimization, price increase and better sales mix, we were able to sustain our profitability. EBITDA for the quarter stood at rupees 20 crores with EBITDA margin of 18%. PAT for the quarter is rupees 13 crores with a margin of 11%. We continue to maintain a robust balance sheet with a net cash position of rupees 58 crores. That is all from my side. We can now open the floor for Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Ravi Naredi from Naredi Investments. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much to give me opportunity. Sir, when full capex done for Surat facility, how much top line enhanced to company, sir?
So, the Surat facility is a greenfield project which we are embarking on. That will take another 18 months for us to complete, and that is under process. And once that is completed, we will look at about 180 to 200 crores top line from there.
180 to 200 crore top line. Sir, always debt is cheaper than to raise the equity. So when you take next expansion, please take care for same. Please raise debt instead of equity. That is my request to you, sir.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
And sir, you mentioned margin reduces as container costs are high. But what about input cost rises?
So there have been some input cost rises as well. So we've been successful in passing on price increases partially to our customers as well. And we've been reducing certain other costs at our end on the manufacturing side. So with all that, we've still been able to maintain our margins. But this freight cost is a concern for us as it's not showing any signs of coming down at the moment.
And when you
continue in maintaining the margins, through better product mix, like how we've done in this first half.
So freight raise, any chances are there that it will down in future anytime soon? Or not likely?
Based on our conversation with the various shipping companies, they are giving an indication that this will still continue for another 12 months. We've been picking up this matter with a lot of the trade organizations to try and see how this can come down. The government is also giving us some freight subsidy, which is helping as well. So we hope things will get better in the next 6 months or so. Let's see. It's anyone's guess at the moment.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question now. The next question is from the line of Mansi Shah, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, what is the rationale behind setting this new distribution subsidiary, and what kind of margins would we expect from this business?
So the rationale for setting up this distribution company is that, we get better control on distribution of our products. We are moving up the value chain, getting closer to the customer, which is the retailer. The distribution margin, typically our distributors work on, it ranges from 25 to 30%. So that's the gross margin. So we hope to capture that. So at the end of it, net, I think we should be able to get 10% or so back to the company. But the more important thing is we will have better control over distribution of our products. Right?
Okay. And sir, how much revenue will we generate from debottlenecking and brownfield expansion?
So I'm going to let Devang answer that.
So that will of course come in stages, but if you take a full year working of it, it would amount to anything between 60 to 75 crores, depending on product mix.
Okay, sure. Yeah, thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Ritesh Chheda from Lucky Investments. Please go ahead.
Sir, just a clarification so that the 10% margin that you would retain, which was otherwise with the distributor, does it mean that on the 300 crore of your business X of agency, you start making that extra 10% margin? In your company level, 18 to 20% EBITDA margin starts moving higher. That's how we have to read it, or I am doing some error in my assessment?
No. I wish it was what you were saying, but no. We have for that 300 crores, we have 150 distributors. This is just one of our areas in the U.S. I mean, actually two now with Georgia and with New Jersey. So it's just these two areas. So I would say in terms of top line from that 300 crores, this would account for at least about $1 million. So anywhere between 7 to 10 crores we expect to grow from of our products. So that is what you should consider, and not 300 crores.
So on that 10 crore, you will make that 10% extra margin. That's how it is.
Approximately, yes.
And why are you doing this specifically for these two regions?
One, New Jersey, as you would know, is a very important market in the U.S. With the highest concentration of the Indian diaspora. So that is a strategic market for us. We will have better control of distribution of our products. We will be able to push more of our products into the retail network, and that is the whole rationale for this.
So will it also...
We have a warehouse already, as you know, in New Jersey, right? So we will be using that warehouse as well for that distribution.
Is it a precursor also for other regions eventually, or this is the regions where you go direct distribution?
So we intend to at least have another 3 to 4 more locations in the U.S. So we expect in the next 18 months to have at least 5 to 6 locations in the U.S. with our own warehouse.
And what it contributes to your total sales?
Well, then it'll, with the 5, 6, account for about 70 to 80% of our US business. The US business for us continues to remain our biggest business. Shardul, do we know what kind of top line once we have this 70 to 80%?
So I think on the current base, we should be able to increase, we can expect increase of at least 20-25%. And US right now is the largest in terms of the shares. So that will amount to a substantial increase for us.
No, I didn't understand. You will be able to increase 20 to 25%?
On the 300 crores, about 25% once we have these. So about 60-75 crores worth of revenues will come out once we have these 5 locations operational.
Okay. So 70 crores worth of business is eventually which will go direct distribution and which will have an incremental margin.
Correct.
Okay. Sir, what explains, or is there any bridge between the margin that we were recording at plus 20% and the margin that we have started recording at about 17.5% to 18% in the last couple of quarters? So what would be the bridge of this difference of about 3%?
Shardul, you want to take that?
So the export incentive, the MEI scheme, which used to be there earlier till last year, that's not there anymore. So that used to be almost 5% of the top line. Government has now come up with a road test, and so that, however, that clearly gives us around 1.5 to 2% of the top line. So there is a gap of 3% in the export incentive itself. So okay. I think that's a bridge which you are talking about. But overall, I think we have always been saying that our EBITDA margins will remain upwards of 20% on standalone and around 18% in the console. And I think we are able to maintain that even if with the drop in this as well as the trade cost increase which has happened, we are still able to maintain these ratios with the sales mix, the price increase, and the cost optimization.
Okay, so a better assumption is about 18 to 19%, including of other income or incentives as a margin profile of your business.
Yeah, once we get any extra incentives or anything, our margin profile should be better. But however, I think 18 to 20% at the console level is something which we should be in a position to sustain that going forward.
Okay. And my last question is, sir, on the growth. Let's say versus the run rates of growth rate that we are seeing about a few quarters back, the growth rate is at about 15-16%. Not that the growth rate has come off, but just on a relative basis, how do we see it incrementally? And also, last, let's say, past few quarters would have also been influenced by people sitting at home. Would there be any changes in the growth rate in the interim considering the movement of people outside the home? So any comments there, sir?
So as far as, you're right, everything has now opened up in the West, and we did see a bit of a lull in the offtake in the months of May, I'm going to say June, July, August. We were seeing a little bit of a lull in the market in terms of offtake because I guess everyone was traveling, eating at home had reduced. But now things are getting back to normal. We are seeing that offtake continuing, and I don't see any cause of concern. I mean, we don't know if there's going to be any other disruption which could be caused because of COVID, but at the moment, we are now seeing things getting back on track.
Okay. My last question is...
Our core, the India business, as you've seen, has shown a good increase. The export business has shown a good increase, and we hope to continue to maintain that increase going forward.
Okay. And so my last question is, you had leased out a certain facility, and so your growth acceleration is dependent on your new facility, which is supposed to come up in Surat, or your growth acceleration via the product lines is dependent on the leased facility that you have got on board? I think there was some product addition.
As we mentioned, the lease facility is helping us. The debottlenecking within our existing facilities is creating extra capacity, and the brownfield, which we will do in our existing facilities, will help us. So we don't see that hampering our growth till the new facility comes up. These things will take care of our growth plans.
What kind of growth rate on a slightly medium term do you see on your revenue? So some of the companies in FMCG do call out double digit or high double digit. Any comment there in terms of what growth rate do you see for your company, your category over the next 2 years, 3 years?
So our internal goal and objective is to double our revenues every 3 years. Okay, and that's what we intend to do at least for the next 3 years before we try and make a further plan. But in the next 3 years, we hope to double our revenues.
That's far in excess of 25% growth rate there.
Yes, we are looking at that.
Yes.
Are you comfortable? Do you think you'll be able to achieve that? Because the growth rate acceleration that we have seen is about 18 to 20% for your company.
With some of our new products, the capacity increasing, and some new customers which we have got in the last 2 quarters, we hope to be able to get that traction.
Okay. Thank you very much. All the best, and wish you a happy Diwali and New Year, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and to you as well.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Ravi Naredi from Naredi Investments. Please go ahead.
Thank you again the opportunity. Sir, what is the lease rent in New Jersey and Georgia?
Shardul, do you...
Georgia, 14,000.
It's around 53,000 in New Jersey and 14,000 in Georgia. So much.
For $53,000.
Yes.
Yeah, 53,000 for the New Jersey warehouse, which is about 66,000 square feet.
Right.
And Georgia is, what was that, Shardul? 14,000.
14,000, yeah.
Georgia has 14,000 for a 33,000 square feet warehouse, or 35,000 square feet warehouse.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Participants, please press star and 1 to ask a question now. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please press star and 1. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Deepak Mehta, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. My question is around the reopening theme of the school. So do you think the sales will pick up now?
Sorry, could you repeat your question again, please?
So my question is, in most of the states now, schools are opening up. So do you think this will drive some sales and sales will improve top line?
Yeah, like I mentioned, we are seeing things getting normalized now, and the offtake is steady and growing. So yes, we hope that this will continue.
Okay, sir. Okay. And actually, I have joined lately, so I'm not sure if this question has been asked. So any plan about the new launches or new category?
So we continue to add new products. In the last quarter also, we did add a lot of new products. So that's a continuous ongoing process for us. So yes, we will continue to add more items, more products.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Das for closing comments.
Yeah, thank you all for joining the Q2 earnings call. For any further queries, feel free to get in touch with us at Pareto Capital. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of ADF Foods, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.